So that was kind of an abstract chapter, wasn't it? It's tough for us to wrap our minds around these concepts when most of us don't spend a lot of time looking through a powerful microscope of the inner workings of a cell. I know I don't. So, congratulations on making it through, and things do get more tangible from here on out. But in this chapter, we're talking about life springing forth from non-life. But, of course, you can't just start there. If you're going to get life coming about on its own, you first need the building blocks of life to come together. And those are amino acids. Well, trying to get amino acids to come together from a mindless soup of chemicals and molecules is a lot like trying to put a puzzle together just by shaking it enough times. Intuitively, you know that's not going to work. Even if you had a box that was just the right size, there are physical forces that prevent that from happening. Even if you did end up with two pieces that were supposed to come together and they link up in just the right way, you know that as soon as you shake that box again, those pieces are coming apart and you're back to square one. And the exact same thing is actually happening in the microscopic world. This primordial soup that it's often called, that life supposedly arose in, would surely have water in it. All living things need water. But a chemical property of water is that it actually breaks up molecules as they link up and get more complicated. So even if you did magically have all the right ingredients in this warm little pond, if they're swimming around in water, you're not getting anywhere. Folks, life can't just arise from a random pool of chemicals. That's what the law of biogenesis is all about. That's why it's a law. Life doesn't come from anything other than life. You can't get the building blocks of life to come together on their own. You can't even get the building blocks of the building blocks to come together, even if you did have billions of years to work with. But I'll tell you, if we're thinking about life as just having the right molecules at the right places and the right times, we're really missing the point here. You and me and the simplest living cell are way more than just the sum of our parts. We're way more than just the molecules that make us up. In the book, I use the example of your phone. All right, if you take your phone and you rip off the back, and you'd look in there and you'd see all sorts of sophisticated hardware, lots of microchips and fancy things. But that sophistication is nothing compared to the software programs that are running on your phone making it work. If someone erased all those programs, you wouldn't be able to turn it on, you wouldn't be able to use your flashlight, you couldn't send a message or find directions to the nearest pizza place. It would just be awful. All the hardware would still be there, right? Everything would still look the exact same. Everything is in the right place for it to work, but if it's not programmed to do anything, it's a brick. And folks, the simplest living cell is the same. The molecular programs working inside a so-called simple cell, if you've taken biology, you know the simple cell, it really isn't simple. That amount of programming and sophistication would put our most advanced software today to shame. So if we're thinking of life as just having the right soup of chemicals coming together, we're really not appreciating what it takes to be alive. The real miracle of life coming from non-life would be how all those tiny bits of a cell got programmed with the information to do exactly what they need to do so that the cell could live, thrive, survive, and by the way, replicate itself. Not a small feat. Programs don't write themselves, folks. Not in the real world, anyway. There's only one author of life, and it's not Mother Nature, it's not Father Time, it's God. To him be the glory.